Hi chaps, I ain't got this in the best camera angle actually, but I'm just going to, I've got two TI razors that I've been working with just lately, and they've been 5K, 8K Norton and then water on this little coticule. Been getting some fairly decent results, a nice feel to the edge. I do know this coticule does work with slurry as well. It doesn't slurry dull, it's definitely a little liver net. It's not very big. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do these razors now, both of them on a very light slurry. And what I do every so many strokes, I've got a cup of water. I just dip the blade in there every few strokes just to stop that slurry drying up, because basically coticules with slurry cut faster, polish faster. With water they polish really slow. And also, the only downside to a slurry is if you used to put a big thick mud of slurry on there, you would lose the edge a little bit. You'd definitely dull the edge. But some coticles slurry dull more than others. They all slurry dull to a certain extent, but what slurry does, it does polish the edge, and it does leave a more mellow edge. I've used Eschers with slurry, and I found the same with those, but they don't, I mean, the Eschers don't slurry dull at all. So they are much easier and more consistent than the coticule. But this coticule will leave a unique feel, like I've said before. This is my final and last test. So I'm going to be doing this on camera. Might be a little bit boring, but I just thought I'd talk you through this. And then when I've done that, I'm going to strop these razors on linen and leather. And I'm going to use these two again and just compare it from the water finish edge. Personally, I actually prefer to use slurry. I think the magic's in the slurry. Bill Dalton, I told him years ago to use a bit of slurry, mellows the edge out, and he uses it all the time now. But not every coticule you can get away with that. So they're like little puzzles, these things. You've got to get the right coticule, which is difficult nowadays. If you look at this, I'm going to wet that a little bit actually. You can see it's got a nice creamy colour, nice little veins in there. It does look like a liver net, which is renowned for one of the best coticles for razors. Having said that, I've got another one that's a little bit bigger. It's a recently mined liver net coticule. It looks nothing like this. So I don't think what they're getting from the mine is like what these were from. I mean, the mine changed over some time ago because it obviously extracted everything from it. But yeah, I think the coticles, when I started out in 2008, they were nicer looking stones for a start. They were harder, and it was just better. And slurry stones, yeah. This is my favourite slurry stone. Not sure, but I think this is from the Le Dressante. It's a very nice, clear, pale colour. So that's my favourite slurry stone. I think the slurry stones can make a difference as well, because you're going to generate slurry from this, and that's your base stone. So anyway, let's just do this. I'm going to make a slurry on here, dip that in my little cup, and we don't want it too thick, but we do want some slurry on there, but not a mud, just basically quite a creamy, not creamy, sorry, semi-skim milk, that sort of thing. I'm going to start out with, and probably do about 100 strokes on there on each blade, and I shall just wet the blade every now and again just to keep that from losing its getting thicker. And then, so as you can see, there's a slurry on there. Probably not easy to see on camera. Right, so just gonna dip that blade in there. I'm just popping the blade behind the slurry so it's staying in front of the razor's edge all the time. Very light, just nice moderate strokes. And that slurry already has started to go a little bit bluer. Just going to dip that in the blade, just dampen it off. Dip that in the water, sorry. Probably dip it in about every 20 or 30 strokes. It just keeps that slurry milky. If it dries out, it can dull the edge. And we don't want that. Yeah, it's quite a little fast stone, this. If you can see that, let's get it on the blade there. See, it's gone darker. So it's definitely cutting. I'll just do this one razor. When I've finished, I'll do the other one off camera, and then I'll go and get a shower, and I shall give these a run for the money. I mean, that slurry is actually going really, really dark now. If you can just get that there, look. You see how dark it's gone? And that's just with a little bit of slurry. So it's amazing how these little coticles do cut. Just doing another 50 strokes on here. Just rinse the blade. It's really handy to have a cup of water. You just dip your blade and shake it off. Probably use a cardboard cup if anything, so you don't go and tap the edge. So yeah, once I've done this, another 30 or 40 strokes. And that slurry is keeping a nice consistency now. So when you're onion on coticles, you've got to keep that slurry right. Well, if you let it get too dry, you can lose the edge a little bit. You've got to be very, you've got to keep on top of it with a coticle. I can feel that cutting into the stone a little bit. See, it's only a small coticle, this. It don't bother me. Big ones are just expensive. You pay a lot of money for a big one. I don't see the point. Can't beat the sensation of onion on a coticle. You could do this all day. It's like onion on a piece of glass, this, with a nice little suction. All coticles feel different, of course. This one's fairly hard stone, this is. Let's see if you can see that. See, it's going darker. Very powerful. The slurry is full of rhomboids, and it's like, I think they say the shape like a 50p piece sort of thing. So you get no real sharp edges gouging away at the steel. It just polishes really nicely. But like I say, those garnets with a thick slurry, don't forget they're going to be bashing into that cutting edge, which damages the edge really, basically. And I think it just depends on the size and the concentration of them. And even in a little coticle like this, it can be different in different sections of the stone, you know. I mean, that's what I've been told anyway. So rinse that blade, ring it off, and then I'm just going to do another 20 and we're done. And there's just a tint of slurry on there now, so we're just working with a very, very tint of slurry. a nice little coticule this is though. I think I must have owned about 60, 70 coticles over the years. Obviously sold a lot of them. Sold some nice ones that I shouldn't have sold really. But there you go. And you can't really overhone on a coticule, not with slurry anyway, and definitely not with water. If you did too many strokes with water, I suppose you can end up with a little bit more crisp edge, but that will do. So there you go. It's just, you can see the metal in that slurry, even though it's only light. I don't know if you can see it on the blade there. That is going to go straight to the linen now. I'm going to air test to see if it's not lost any keenness. Wipe that blade off. Let's just do it on the arm. I had the Norton 5K, Norton 4K, Norton 8K, sorry, get mixed up here. And I'm still plucking up here, but it's very soft on that edge. And then it was on the water on this coticule. The shave was fine. It was a little bit smoother, not too bad at all, but it didn't have that special feel of the coticule that I like, that I used to get with Dial-A-Cot, which was used in the slurry. So Sham actually recommended me, the guy who sold me this on eBay, and he knows his stuff. He says his instructions was to do at least 100 strokes with a light slurry, and that's what I've more or less done. And I've tried it once or twice. I did it on Jeff's razor and he liked it. So I'm just going to do this one. So we've got 2 to try, Tuesdays. So we're going to have 2 coticule edges finished on a slurry to a misty slurry. Right, I shall catch you in a bit for the shave, lads. I'll upload this and I shall catch you in about an hour.